Welcome to the award-winning PrepZone Show. I'm your host, Johnathan Bentley, joined by my co-host, Zak McCullough. And we are now 20% through the season, Zak.
That can't be right.
It's going to be over before you know it.
How can we be 20%? Oh,
that's pretty good math, right, for me?
Yeah.
20%.
Yeah, that's
See, 2
good
out
math.
of 10. 20% next week could be 30%.
Wow.
Now, you start throwing in playoffs when it comes to fractions.
Okay,
I don't know that. But, okay, we have, like I said before, we are award-winning, so we don't have anything. So I brought something. I have a prop this week.
Oh, good.
So this is our new trophy for it.
Ah.
And
like
as you can see, it is no, it's actually a T-ball player. See, I was not good enough for baseball.
Oh,
I was good enough for T-ball. And the bat broke off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. That happened to all these trophies.
No.
So this is our new award. And I will say something. You know, people talk about that everybody gets a participation trophy.
Participation
right?
trophies.
Now, those are bad, right? This is a participation trophy because I was on the worst team.
Oh, no.
And I was probably one of the worst players. So, yeah.
Oh,
In the 80s, that was still going on.
I can't believe that you were one of the worst players on the team.
Worst players.
Knowing as much about baseball as you do.
I was scared of the ball.
Oh, well, that would be a reason. That would be a
problem.
reason.
But we had two teams, and one was like the Yankees, and I was on the green team. You know, they had pinstripes. We had like green uniforms.
Oh.
And we were the lesser team. We had a couple good players, but yeah, it was not a good season.
Yeah, I found a trophy at a thrift store once. It looks like the Heisman Trophy, except it's smaller and plastic. But it's a decent replica.
We need that here too.
We need that.
But this will do.
That'll do for now.
This is about that sums it up. Broken bat.
That's a nice trophy.
I had another one where the bat wasn't broken. This has more character.
It does.
That's what happens.
Besides, you don't want to bring the one with the regular bat here and risk breaking it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. No way. Things worth at least $1 or $2, right?
Yeah, maybe $2.50.
If I'm lucky. All right, so we'll jump straight into some football here. We have 3 2-0 teams out of 12. Not great.
That's not great. But the teams that are 2-0, they have a good shot at making it a few more weeks undefeated.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's go back to last week. The first game we're going to talk about is Somebody Christian. Ended that long losing streak.
No, 11 games. That's of course are there some forfeits mixed up in there?
Yeah, I think they had to forfeit 2 games last year.
Yeah,
that is correct.
I was about to say so.
Maybe it was 3. Yeah,
2 or 3. But that's a little dishonest. But yeah, they beat Belgreen 49-18. That's a big win.
Yeah, and Belgreen had won their first game, so I was not looking for. I wasn't looking for Somebody Christian to win that game, and then I only won. They won big.
I thought if they wanted to be close, I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised that they were able to win.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Such a high margin.
Kids, yeah, Jarius and those kids, they deserve that. All right, so we'll jump to the county line clash. Corner wins again over Dora.
Seems like they've got the Bulldogs' number.
That's 3 in a row,
Wow.
and I think they're 8-2 in the last 10 against them.
That's
which is
surprising.
Incredible, because Dora's been good. I thought of
They have, and Corner. Just a few years ago, Corner was not great.
Yeah, they've really. I'm telling you, that coach Trent Campbell has done a great job.
Outstanding.
But they won 35-18. It was kind of close for a little while, and they kind of pulled away at the end. Dora's young. They'll get there. Jasper 2-0. Believe it.
I can't hardly believe it. I'm a little surprised. I knew that they had a great coach, but I didn't realize it would pay off this quickly.
Yeah, and that's 48 points twice in a row.
Wow.
They're actually piling up the points this year.
Good offense.
Yeah, so they beat Sipsey Valley 48-28. Then our other 3-0 is Winston County. You were at that game last week. 36-6 over Meek.
It was close for a little while. I mean, it was 20-6 at halftime. It was actually 20-0, and then Meek took the kickoff back for a touchdown. And so that was the only Meek touchdown. But Winston County, they don't have a lot of depth, but the players they do have are extremely talented, and they're big players. They're able to win at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to serve Winston County well. So as long as the Yellow Jackets can stay healthy, they're in good position.
That's the thing. That was the problem last year. Yep. Keep those guys healthy, and I think they've got a chance to do something. And it says, and the rest.
And the rest. That's disrespectful.
Kind of like Gilligan's and the rest. So among the rest was Hale County 54-27 over Oakman.
That's shocking.
That was surprising.
That's shocking. I mean, I really didn't think Oakman would lose this, but especially getting doubled up by Hale County. I mean, obviously we don't know too much about Hale County, so but still, I find it hard to believe that would happen.
I think they were winning after a quarter. Maybe it was just one of those that got away from them, obviously. Because we know Oakman's a good team. And Coach Hall said this team had a ton of athletes, and boy, they must have got after it. Because to beat Oakman that bad, a good Oakman team.
This is a good Oakman team.
Hale County's one of those teams, so you never know. One year they'll be good, one year they'll do bad. All right, so Northside 21, Cordova 7. Cordova's still having trouble scoring.
They're having trouble scoring, but their defense was able to hold up well against Northside. And, we've said this. I think we said it last week. Cordova, they always play Northside close. A couple of years ago, I think it went into overtime.
Yeah, that's right.
They do a good job of playing them close, but obviously I know that's not what Cordova fans want. They want to win. And maybe they'll get there this week. They got a chance.
I think so. Yeah, that was 7-7 for a long time. I mean, they played them really close. Colbert Heights 31, Carbon Hill 8. It was semi-close for a little while.
It was. It's a long road trip for Carbon Hill. Colbert Heights, they got a big team. Coming off a big win for Carbon Hill. A bit of a letdown maybe. Let's see if they can straighten that out for this week. They got Oakman, which we'll get into that later, but that's going to be a big matchup.
Yep, biggest game in the county. This one maybe should have been in the other group. Addison bounces back and takes down number 5 Decatur Heritage 36-20.
I was very surprised at this because Addison got absolutely demolished by Winston County last week. And Decatur Heritage, like you say, was, just an outstanding football team. Very highly thought of. Addison changed that in a hurry.
I think Addison, I think they took that first loss to heart. And
they did. Hey,
got after it this week.
If you lose your first game and can respond like this, it may not be a terrible thing.
Yes. That shows they've got the talent. This game, they scored late to make it 36-20. It wasn't even that close. And then Hackleburg-Lynn. Hackleburg was just a machine, it seemed like, that game.
Hackleburg's built something over the last couple of years.
They came out of nowhere last year to win that region, and now it looks like they're on their way again.
Yeah, they're not sneaking up on anybody this year, but It looks like they don't have to.
So Lynn scored early. It was 7-0, and they lose 33-13. They have a really good quarterback and a really good scat back receiver, and they couldn't stop him. Number 5 for Hackleburg. Watch out for them. All right, so we'll go to the players of the week. Can you believe who was player of the week? It's unbelievable, right? 2 weeks in a row, it's the corner running back, junior Spencer Unruh had another monster game. So how do you go 248 the first game? And 249 this week.
Yeah, if you beat your previous rushing total, even though it was only a yard, you got to get the award again.
Yeah,
so.
And had a 95-yard kickoff return.
Yep.
4 touchdowns against Dora in that clash. So
now he's got to make it 3 in a row.
That's right. He got the chance.
Look at his season.
I don't know what. Yes.
His season stats. He's got 494 yards and 6 touchdowns. Also has a couple of other touchdowns. Let's see, a kickoff return and a reception, I believe. That's 8 total touchdowns
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. That's 4 a game. Quick math says that's 24 points, and that's enough to win a game.
Yeah, that'll win you a game or two, right?
24 points, just him.
Yeah. And I will say the line has done their job getting him open, and the whole team has done well. The defense has been good for corner. Just everything's clicking right now. But we also wanted to mention somebody from Summit Christian since we got that win. Yes. Rusty McDonald had a huge game. 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Caught 3 passes for 78 yards and 2 scores, rushed for 43 yards and 2 scores, and that was a long time coming for the Eagles.
That's a pretty good game. 4 touchdowns for somebody in Christian.
Oh, yeah.
That Rusty McDonald came out of nowhere, really surprising, but hey, it shows that they've got some talent.
Yeah, they need more of that, but great showing by him and the Eagles. I was very happy for them to win. I want to mention a defensive player, too, JoJo Odom. We didn't mention him last week. He had a huge game. I didn't have the stats. I know seemed like he was in on every tackle. Had to have double digits. So this last week against Sipsey Valley, he had interception return for a touchdown, 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 pressures, a pass breakup. He's all over the field. So I want to mention something about
good stat line. That's a good stat line right there.
They don't just have Pledger and Mike Maddox. They got Odom on the defense, and he is just putting up numbers so far. All right, so you want to jump to this week's games?
Yeah, let's jump into them.
I know it's not as good as last week.
No,
there are some good matchups, though.
There's some good matchups. There are.
So the first on the list here is probably the toughest one, I think.
Yes.
Dora 0-2 have struggled against 2 pretty good teams, Minor and Corner.
Right.
At Fayette County, which is 1-1.
I went back and forth on this one. Because it seems unfathomable that Dora could start 0-3.
I don't. Yeah.
Fayette County, they got a pretty good team. First game of the season, Gordo demolished them.
Yes.
You kind of expected that.
Bad.
Last week, Fayette County demolished South Lamar. South Lamar's a good team, but they're in 1 or 2A.
Usually 1A. Yeah,
they're
good
1A.
Yeah.
So you don't really know a whole lot about Fayette. Dora's 0-2. They've struggled to score, and they've struggled to keep the opponents from scoring. I was back and forth, but I'm going to eventually go to the old tiebreaker, and that's who's playing at home. That's Fayette County, so I picked the Tigers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, boy, it's tough to play at Fayette County. I remember those good Cordova teams going over there and just getting beat. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I'll always pick Dora, it seems like.
Don't jinx
Except for
them.
last week, I didn't pick Corner.
Don't
so
jinx
I'm
Dora.
hopefully not jinxing by picking Dora, which is 0-2. I don't know. I think they're ready for this. They've had those big matchups. I know, Fayette County played Gordo, but lose by 50.
That's not good.
62
That's
to
not
12. So Fayette County's good, always. So this will be tough. And I wish they had a breather. Dora has not had a chance to catch their breath yet.
They'll get Hamilton next week, and we don't know a whole lot about Hamilton so far.
We really don't.
They're going to play Cordova this week, so we'll learn something there. But we'll see if that's going to be a breather or if it might be another test.
Yeah, I will take Dora on this one. All right, so this is a matchup of 2-0 teams. I had trouble with this one. Corner at Winona, both 2-0.
Yeah, Winona, it's at Winona, and that was the only struggle for me. But the way Corner's played the last 2 weeks, I just couldn't pick against them here. So I'm going with the Yellow Jackets.
I am too, and it was tough because I went to Winona last year. Jasper played them, and it was,
Right.
I think it was on a Thursday, 33-0. But that was this Corner team's better than that Jasper team. I think Winona's improved. But Corner, if they just keep doing what they're doing, it's going to be hard to stop.
Give it to Spencer Unruh.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
I think that'll work. All right, so the only county matchup this week is Carbon Hill at Oakman. This usually goes to Oakman.
It usually goes to Oakman. It has, I think Carbon Hill will play them close, but in the end, I think Oakman's going to rebound well to last week's loss to Hale County. I think they're going to be prepared and focused, so I'm going to go with the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think catching them off a loss is probably not
No, it's
ideal
not.
for
It's not
Carbon
ideal.
Hill.
Not ideal at all.
And I want to mention a player, Teeter, for Brody Teeter for Carbon Hill last week. A huge game. Even though they lost, he had like over 100 yards and I think he had double-digit tackles on defense. It was all over the place.
He's a good running back, but he really shines at linebacker. He's really good on the defensive front.
Need to keep him healthy. But Oakman, I think they have too many weapons. That Thomas will probably have a big game there, I'm thinking. He had 2 touchdowns last week.
He did. He's been dominant. He's been very dominant. So that'll be an interesting matchup to see if Carbon Hill and their defense can stop Tyler Thomas.
Yeah, that'll be very difficult. Nobody's done it yet.
No.
All right, so Decatur 0-2 at Jasper 2-0. Jasper's home opener.
I think Jasper's going to win this one handily. It's at home in front of the crowds, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people there because Jasper's 2-0. They've looked good in both of their wins. Fans are going to show up.
Yeah, 48 points both games, as we said. I don't understand how Decatur is always so bad. You know, they're in on third coach in 3 years.
Ooh.
This is the old Russellville coach. He went from Russellville to Decatur this season, so they have a good coach, but it might take him a little while. Decatur should be better than they are in football, it seems like.
They should.
All right, so I picked Jasper as well. And a game we talked about earlier, Cordova 0-2 at Hamilton 1-0.
Looking at the records, it's tempting to pick Hamilton, but Cordova, they played tough. They lost to Oakman, and then they lost to Northside, but those are 2 good opponents. Hamilton, they really haven't played anybody. I'm going to have to go with the Blue Devils here.
Wow,
I got
really?
Cordova.
On the road?
On the road.
At Hamilton?
At Hamilton.
At Hamilton.
At Hamilton.
It's hard to win at Hamilton.
It is hard to win at Hamilton.
And if you've been to Hamilton, it's hard to park at Hamilton. It's like a little bitty parking place. But I went Hamilton. Now, I know Cordova's beat them the last 2 years. Hamilton won 2 games over the last 2 years, both against Curry.
That's another reason I'm picking Cordova.
I think they're better. I mean, everybody told me over the summer they're better. They were young. They're getting better.
Well, they will be better, but I still don't. I don't think that they're going to beat Cordova. I don't. But
Cordova needs this
bad.
really bad. But I picked Hamilton because it's hard to win at Hamilton. Now, I'm going back to the good years.
You're going
John
to the good
Holiday,
years.
way back. They never lost. It was almost impossible to beat them there. But I'm going Hamilton, and I hope I'm wrong on that. Cordova needs that win. All right, so Curry at Haleyville 0-2 at 2-0.
Haleyville, Curry, they've had 2 tough losses, both close. Yes. Haleyville, I think, is just going to be too good. I think Haleyville's too good. 2-0. They've been really good the past couple of years, and I think that's going to shine, so I'm going with Haleyville.
Yeah, I am too. Haleyville's been a playoff team. I still see them, Dora and Fayette, battling out for the region,
Yeah, that could be pretty good. That could be pretty good.
Now that they lost Corner from the region, so that makes it easier.
True. That's true. If Corner was in that region,
that would be really
win
tough.
it.
Yeah.
Probably win it.
But I'm going Haleyville over Curry there. All right, so Summit Christian. This one's a little deceiving. A lot of people we have here have picked Pickens County to lose to Summit Christian. Summit Christian 1-1, Pickens County 0-2, but those 0-2 were against really tough competition.
It is, and it's anytime you look at Pickens County and see that they're 0-2, it's kind of a jolt. But like you say, they had a tough schedule.
Oh, yeah.
It's in reform, which is going to be tough on Summit Christian. I'm going with the Tornadoes.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Pickens County will bounce back. Now that they're in 1A competition.
Right.
Yeah, they had a really tough start. All right, so our last undefeated team, Winston County 2-0 at Tanner 0-2. Tanner used to be really good.
They used to. I remember them in the playoffs.
Rattlers, yeah. But I'm going Winston County there. I just think it's going to be too much for Tanner.
I saw Winston County in person. They're so talented. It's a very fast team as well. I think they're going to run all over Tanner. I think this is going to be ugly too.
Yeah.
I got Winston County.
Winston County's had 2 lopsided wins so far. All right, so this one is a big region game here early for Meek. Meek 0-2 at Hackleburg 1-0.
I know Meek's 0-2, but this is their opportunity to get everything all right again. They've had a tough schedule so far, Meek has. Now they're going to a Hackleburg team that handled Lynn pretty well last week. Mm-hmm. As we know, Lynn beat Meek by 13. Thus, with simple math, Hackleburg has got to win this one.
Yeah, Hackleburg. I think they're, 1A, you can't tell one year to the next.
That's
and
true.
Hackleburg came back last year, and I think they're going to stay up for a while. It's going to be, if they beat Lynn by 3 touchdowns, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat them.
Hackleburg's the number 5 team in 1A?
Number 5, yep.
Still at number 5. I think they should have gone up after beating Lynn.
I don't think they might not lose this year.
They might not. They might not.
All right, so Shoals Christian and Addison. We talked about Addison bouncing back, and Shoals Christian is not very good.
No, I don't want to run Shoals Christian in the mud, but Addison's probably going
to.
Addison's probably going to win this one very big.
I was really hoping Shoals Christian played Summoning Christian this year.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. The Battle of SC.
Instead, Addison at home.
Yeah,
I think they should roll in this one. All right, the last game. Another deceiving one with the records. Lynn 1-1 after that loss to Hackleburg at Brilliant 1-0.
I think Lynn's going to win this one pretty easily. I know they got beat last week. Coach Hastings, Mark Hastings up at Lynn. He'll have them prepared for this week. Not good for Brilliant at all. Nope. Not a brilliant situation for Brilliant to be in, if I may play on the words.
You may not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then I got Lynn.
I took Lynn too. Brilliant. They won big. I think they beat Shoals Christian last week. Badly.
Very badly.
I think 50 or something like that.
Well, Shoals Christian lost to Belgreen the first week.
Yeah.
Belgreen, the team that Summoning Christian won.
It's a shame we don't have one of these local teams playing Shoals Christian this year.
Except for Addison.
Yes.
Except for Addison.
Good for Addison. And Meek.
That's true.
They're playing
I forgot about that.
So Lynn, they should beat Brilliant, even though they're kind of banged up. It's, it's early. Lynn they got to get healthy by the end of the year.
This is the kind of game where your starters might play a quarter and a half, and then you let your backups in. And I know this is 1A football. There's not a lot of backups.
That's
but
true.
Still, you've got to get your players healthy, your starters, your main players healthy. So hopefully they can do that.
I think they will. All right, so our top 5 teams of the week are up now.
All right. I feel
Did
like
yours
they're going to be
change
similar.
much?
A little bit. They changed a little bit.
Yeah, I kicked some teams out, and I got one team in here that's been in here in a while. All right, so what do you have at number 5?
Number 5, I've got Addison. I know they got beat bad the first week, but when you beat Decatur Heritage like they did, you're in the top 5. You're making the top 5.
Very impressive. I have Oakman.
Okay.
Even though they lost by
even after a bad
points.
loss.
It was a bad loss, yes.
They'll rebound.
I know they're a good team.
They'll rebound.
And just 27 points is okay, but that was very surprising.
You gave up 54. That's not a great look. But
Yeah,
I know Ryan Hall will have this fixed. He can do it.
I have Addison at 4.
Okay. Fair enough. I've got Lynn at 4.
Oh, see, I didn't put Lynn in there.
I mean, you lose to Hackleburg. Hackleburg's the number 5 team in 1A, which we just said. I'm not going to drop them out of my top 5 for that. They're number 4. I think they have enough talent to, pretty much make up for that loss.
Yeah. I could have had them in there instead of Oakman.
You could have.
So at 3, Jasper?
All right. My number 3 is Winston County.
Okay.
So I've got Winston County at number 3. They've looked really good. Not a whole lot of complaints for Winston County, just like we've been saying. As long as Winston County stays healthy, can't have injury problems.
Yes. So I have Jasper, and they're kind of, they're just rolling over people right now. Now, that game last week was close. I think it was 21-21, and they just pulled away in the second half, 48-28. But I did not expect them to be – their offense is doing what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to blow out these teams.
Right.
So I have them at 3, and at 2, Winston County, which you already mentioned.
Which we've already talked about. My number 2 is Jasper, who we've already talked about. Jasper's up at 2. Really, just to stress the same point again, really surprised that they're 2-0. And that's not, it's not really soft scheduling. I mean, they haven't played the toughest opponents, but they've looked really good.
Doubled last year's win total
already. And
that's nice.
Just going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. And I think Jasper's really set up for a good season.
And that leaves Corner at number 1.
Yeah, Corner's got to be number 1.
Corner just...
You beat Winfield or Winfield City or whatever we're going to call them. And then you beat Dora, follow that up, you're number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what they've done running the ball, they lost all those players. I mean, I really thought they would take it. I was wondering if this team would make the playoffs.
I was thinking 5-5. I was like, I know it was great last year, but they moved up to 5A, lost a lot of players. They proved me wrong.
Yeah, they still got some good ones, apparently.
Corners proved me wrong again.
Yes. Yeah. I always pick Dora, and this year it seemed like Corner is the team to go with.
Corner is the team.
I always jinx somebody, and somebody comes out of nowhere, and this year it's Corner. Because we thought they'd be good last year.
Right.
And they were.
We expected them to be good. Maybe not to the level of what they were.
I didn't expect them. Yeah, they were right there to win the region last year. Come in third.
Probably should have won the region. I mean,
those tiebreakers are crazy.
They went, 9-1 and finished third in the region?
Yes, that's right. Dora and Haleyville right in front of them. 2 years in a row that's happened. All right, so we're done with high school for now. So we will talk about college. You were at the Alabama game?
I was. It rained all morning and all afternoon leading up to the game, even though the weather forecast said it was not going to rain at all, which was a little frustrating, but I can't complain. Alabama wins 63-0. Jalen Milrow with 5 total touchdowns. Now, in Alabama history, only 3 players have thrown 3 touchdowns in a game and rushed for 2 more. Ooh. Who do you think they are?
Tua?
Not Tua.
Bryce Young?
Not Bryce Young.
Jalen Hurts?
Not Jalen Hurts.
Then I don't know.
Milrow, and Milrow. Trick question. Trick question. I know it's a trick question.
That was all the Alabama quarterbacks I knew. So that was pretty good to name 3. Jay Barker would have been my next guess.
Jay Barker could have won.
Yeah.
That was a
game management.
That was a time where it was more low scoring, low key. So, I mean, maybe if he was playing in today's offenses, he could have done that. But
we have a poster, Daniel Moore of Jay Barker against Ohio State.
Yeah,
it's my wife's. And she won't take it down because back in the day, she paid her own money for that.
Really?
Which would have cost a lot of money. Yeah. So it's a classic, right?
Classic.
But, all right, so Auburn, that was not on TV. Unless you had ESPN Plus or SEC Plus, which I don't have. But I don't know if it needed to be. It was 73-3. Oh, we didn't say the score against Alabama. 63-0.
63-0.
And they probably could have scored more.
If they wanted. I mean, they ended the game taking knees in the red zone. So.
Yeah. And everybody wanted 70.
I know. I wanted it so.
I want the 70.
I said, I know Coach Saban would have never gone for 70. New coach, we're going for 70 in the first game.
Get that record.
But
I remember being at the Auburn-Purdue game, and I was going for 70.
Oh, yes.
And they scored it, but they didn't. They said he was out of bounds or something. Didn't even review it. It was so bad they didn't review it, so they got 63.
That's cruel.
It should have been 70.
That's cruel.
Yeah, Purdue was. That's the last time Auburn won a bowl game. Years ago. You were a little kid.
I was very little.
Yeah. A foot shorter.
Maybe 2 foot shorter.
Right.
I don't know.
So Auburn 73-3. Peyton Thorne 4 TD passes
and a rush, and he ran for a touchdown too. That's 5 overall.
It's Alabama A&M, but I don't think he could have done that last year.
You had told me jokingly that he was going to score 4 touchdowns through the air, and he did.
Yes,
he did.
Exactly.
He wound up doing it. I mean,
probably won't happen again.
Well, maybe not.
They do play Louisiana Monroe. If he's healthy late in the year, maybe he can do it again. Maybe he'll do it this week against Cal.
Definitely not New Mexico State. So they do have to play New Mexico.
Mexico. And we get the New Mexico State quarterback from last year who is now in Vanderbilt.
And Vanderbilt, we're going a little off subject here, but Vanderbilt is 1-0 because they beat Virginia Tech in overtime.
Great, exciting overtime win for them.
Proud of Vanderbilt.
Yes.
May not go well for the rest of the season.
No, but at least they got something to hang their hat on for the season.
I mean, if they were to continue to play like that, they might have a shot at a bowl game. They might.
They could beat Florida.
They could.
Off on another subject again, Florida is terrible.
Just not as bad as Florida State.
Yeah, and they got to play each other later. Somebody's going to get a win.
Somebody's going to get a win.
But Florida's schedule, it's funny. Auburn never plays Florida. The next time they play them, they'll be ranked number 3. They'll come out of nowhere. They'll have a new coach and be ranked number 3. They never get them on a year like this.
Oh, that's
where everybody's going to beat them.
That's tough.
It looks like they could bounce back.
They could.
Seriously, I mean,
they
have to have some talent.
I was looking over their schedule, which many consider to be the worst or the hardest schedule in the country. You're right. It probably is. They could legitimately go 3-9.
They got to beat Stanford this week.
That might be tough. That might be tough.
Yeah, they've lost these games before. Do we have any Zach's picks this week?
We do. And I was thinking about jokingly adding Florida and Samford in there, but
No. That's just mean.
That is mean. We shouldn't disrespect Florida like that. We shouldn't. All right, we're going to start with out west, Mississippi State, Arizona State.
Well, that's a late game, I think.
That's late. They always play games late in Arizona State because they're the Sun Devils, but because it's so hot in the desert, they play most of their games at night.
That does make sense. So it's Pac-12 after dark, even though there's no more Pac-12?
It's Big 12 after dark now.
12, yes.
The Arizona State's in the Big 12.
So who did you take?
Had to go with Mississippi State.
Really?
I mean, they've
I
got.
did not.
You're not? You're going to
I'm
Arizona
going to Arizona State.
Wow. Okay. Well, we disagreed on that one right off the gates. This is going to be fun.
I couldn't name the Mississippi State coach, so
You don't know it's Levy?
Nah, see?
Jeff Levy?
I'd forgotten.
I mean, sometimes I forget too. It's hard.
I thought it was Arnett still. Like, wait,
No. They gave him 1 year.
Yeah, it's bad.
1 year.
About bad year.
That's cruel. But, I mean, Mike Leach, after he died, I'm sure that's who he would have wanted to be the head coach. But that's off subject. We're going off subject. So we're going to go back to a neutral site game, Tennessee and North Carolina State in Charlotte.
Well, Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
The NC State, usually they'll sneak up and beat somebody.
They can.
They'll sneak up and beat Clemson this year.
And they nearly got beat by Western Carolina last Thursday.
That was in doubt till late.
That was
very late.
28-14 the final score.
But I went Tennessee. I think they're really good this year.
I agree with you. The quarterback, Nico, I'm going to try to get his name right. Iamaleava, maybe?
If you say so.
Yes. I'm going to roll with it.
To me, that sounded perfect.
I'm all right.
I don't know. Is that as hard as the Florida State quarterback's name?
Oh, DJ Uiagalelei.
So you got that one down now.
Well,
it's been 4 or 5 years.
He's been in college since 2020.
And this is the Tennessee guy's first year.
That's right. He's redshirt freshman.
Wow.
Redshirt freshman.
It's not good for everybody else.
No, it's not. I've got Tennessee as well. It's probably going to get out of hand. I don't know. Now we're going to go Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Arkansas won 70-0. Granted, it's against the University of Arkansas in Pine Bluff, but still.
The other University of Arkansas. Yes.
Yeah, but Bobby Petrino's offense seemed to work.
Yeah, I don't know. Pine Bluff. I just can't take them seriously. You know, what did Arkansas win 3 or 4 games last year? 4? I think it was 4.
4 and 8. I think
so. Yeah, I mean that's good though. Yeah. If they win this one, maybe they could do something this year.
Do you think they'll win it though?
No, I do not.
I don't either.
Oklahoma State's pretty good.
Yeah, we were talking about quarterbacks that have been in college for a long time. Oklahoma State's quarterback is Alan Bowman. This is his 7th year of college football, but he's not the longest tenured player in college football.
Oh, the Miami
wide receiver,
9 years.
McCormick. It's his 9th season in college football.
He was in I think his freshman year was 2016.
Right. But he missed, I think
4 years.
4 years got ended with season-ending injuries. Hard to believe. But he's doing better now, so we're going to leave that one be. All right. South Carolina at Kentucky, the only SEC versus SEC game.
Well, that's really tough. I guess I go Kentucky since they're at home.
Yeah, and Kentucky. Their win last week looks unimpressive. They only beat Southern Miss 31-0. But you got to realize that it was storming in Lexington, and they called the game in the third quarter.
Oh, they didn't even get to
They didn't even finish it. So
that was miserable.
And South Carolina had their cupcake game against Old Dominion and wound up having to score a late touchdown to win. They only won 23-19.
Yeah, looking ahead maybe.
Maybe. Looking ahead to Kentucky.
Ahead to Kentucky. That's a bad sign.
Oh, no. Yeah, I've got Kentucky, too. And I think it's probably going to be ugly. South Carolina, their backup quarterback is Robbie Ashford.
Wow,
former Auburn quarterback.
I had no idea. He's still playing.
He is still playing.
We got former Auburn quarterbacks bouncing around everywhere.
I know. There's one starting for the Denver Broncos that Auburn probably should have held on to. Bo Nix left for Oregon. Didn't need him. No,
they had plenty of guys there. None of them could play.
Mercy. All right. Texas at Michigan. This is a big game. Top 10 matchup. Texas ranked 3rd. Michigan ranked 10th. It's at Michigan, big house. What do you think is going to happen?
I think Texas is a legit title contender this year, and Michigan is not. Now Harbaugh's gone. Things are just different.
I know. What I mean? They're the reigning national champions, but they're ranked 10th.
Yeah. I mean, Washington wasn't even ranked, and they played for the championship last year.
I know it. That's weird.
But, yeah, I got Texas. I think Texas is going to be a trouble for everybody this year.
I do, too. I really believe that Texas has a shot to dethrone Georgia. Georgia has to go to Austin this year.
Boy,
that's going to be fun.
My gosh.
Ooh, expensive, too.
Yes.
That's going to be
a high game. I didn't even realize that.
Mm-hmm. But Texas at Michigan, so you're going Texas?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going Texas as well. They've got Quinn Ewers, a talented quarterback. They're down to only 3 running backs on their depth chart though, after
everybody was hurt.
injuries.
And Manning threw a touchdown last
Arch
week.
Manning threw a touchdown that only went forward by about a yard, but
It
still
counts.
a touchdown. It counts. Actually, he threw it about 20 yards sideways, though.
Yes.
It was one of those that you would have seen Bryce Young, or if you watch the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
Across the field.
Across the field. He's very talented. What's funny is they steamrolled their opponent, Colorado State, and the first question that Steve Sarkisian's asked after the game is about Arch Manning.
People want him to start so bad.
They want him to start so bad just because his name is Manning,
Yes.
which, I mean, he's very talented. He gets it from his family, his famous family, but we went off on another tangent. All right, our 2 local teams, USF at Alabama. They're renaming the field Nick Saban Field, so it's going to be a big game for that. Mm-hmm. It's a night game. South Florida obviously played Alabama a little too close last year. I don't believe that Alabama's going to lose that, but what do you think happens?
You know, it's funny. You go back a year, and there was the question at quarterback at this point, which is insane.
Tyler Buckner, who's now on the Notre Dame lacrosse team, was the starter 1 year ago for this game.
And now we got, Milroe is probably a Heisman Trophy candidate. Well, he is.
He's definitely a Heisman Trophy candidate.
And I think it's payback time.
Oh, it is.
I think this will not be close.
Absolutely payback time.
What was crazy was they went on the road for this game last year.
Yeah, that's weird. You know, they played now the home and homes instead of neutral site non-conference games.
Prefer that.
The home and homes are back. So Alabama had Texas. Then it was South Florida. Now it's Wisconsin. And I think next is it Notre Dame next?
I think that's right. Yep.
So that's going to be fun next year, playing Notre Dame at Notre Dame next year, I do believe. I'm not sure about that, though. All right, final game, Cal at Auburn. Last year, this was also a very slugfest game.
It was 14-10.
But that's before Peyton Thorne knew how to pass. Apparently, he's learned.
Now he does.
Apparently, he's learned. So, what do you think happens?
This will not be. God, I hope it's not as close. 14-10, and they scored with like 6 minutes to go to win that game.
Wow,
it was just really bad. And I think at home, and this is a different team. I know it's the same team, but it's a lot different. All those receivers coming in, I will say them about 3 touchdowns.
Okay. What's funny is this seems like a long trip for California going to Auburn, but in reality, it's shorter than most of their conference road trips because, as we mentioned, California's now in the ACC.
Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
That's on the coast. Part of that conference has the right name.
Part of it, yeah. My dad says they should change it to America Covered Conference.
Yes, because it is the ACC.
It covers America.
Yeah. Who else is in there from the West Coast?
We got Stanford, and then SMU is out in Texas.
Right. So it's all over the place now.
It's way all over the place. So Cal at Auburn, I agree. Auburn's going to win big. I don't think it's going to be close. Cal is slumping. And Auburn's probably on the way up a little bit.
I hope so. Yeah, a little bit. Exactly. That's all we need was a little bit.
It's going better. It's going to be better for them. It's going to be better.
All right. Does that wrap up?
That wraps it up. That completely wraps it up. Last week there weren't any good games. Now we got a few more. But as the season gets going, we'll have a lot more. So
yeah, it'll get better week by week.
It will.
Enjoy these weeks, man. Because football, it seems like boom, it's over.
I know.
It just starts and it's over. And it's Christmas.
Like you said, 20% of the high school season's over.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
That's tough. That's tough to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, enjoy it. Get out and watch some of these teams.
Yes.
Because these kids don't have to play. They could be at home.
They could be at home, or they could be in the stands with their friends. Games. They could be in the stands with their friends watching it and not getting injured.
And they're putting a lot of time into this.
A lot of time.
Even if they lose, does it really matter? You're supposed to have fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Well, it's a lot more fun when you win. But
yes, that's true.
It is. But
unlike my team, I was talking about T-ball. That was a bad. That smooth transition to my T-ball team.
Smooth transition.
It was the green team. I think it was True Dimensions was the business on it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
so it was a sponsored team, like soccer.
Yes,
like European soccer teams. You don't even know what they're called. They've just got businesses plastered all over their jerseys.
Yes, we had the green team, Riverton. We were the B team basically, but yeah, we had some good player. We had a good player because his dad was the coach. They wouldn't let him coach on other teams, so if he wanted to be the coach, he had to be on our team. But yeah, good times. Really.
I bet it was.
No, it really wasn't. I didn't like it.
You didn't enjoy it?
I didn't. I was bad at it. If you're bad at something, I kept playing, but
so you stuck to it. You stuck to it.
I was better at soccer.
Yeah. Really?
I don't know if I have a soccer trophy, but yeah.
Well, you need to go find your soccer trophy if you got one. It might look good.
Yeah, this is antique at this point.
It is. I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you what year it's from. I'm not.
It's been a while.
Maybe a little while.
Okay. It's been a while since I hit a bat too. Really? Maybe that was a problem. Went up to bat with no bat in my hand. Yeah, this is an accurate description.
Oh, no.
All right. So anyway, after
was a
many,
terrible
many
tangent.
tangents, right? That wraps up our show. I want to thank you for joining us. Thanks for Bevill State for sponsoring. Thanks for Jake for producing. Thanks for Zach for being here. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe. And we will not be here next week, by the way. We got some people taking vacations.
Some people, certain
Yes.
people taking vacations.
Some people will not be here.
Some people.
So we're going to have to cover 2 weeks worth of stuff next time. Next time we come back, Jasper will be 3-0. Or maybe, we'll be 4-0? No, 3-0.
What will it be?
4-0.
3-0, 4-0.
4-0, yeah.
4-0.
They got Coleman after Decatur.
Ooh, well now.
And that'll be here too. That'll be another huge. That's on a Thursday, by the way.
Really?
Yes, I will say that.
Makes it
For
a little more
Foothill
high profile.
Festivals, they moved it to Thursday.
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart.
So that everybody go to that game. It's going to be huge.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
All right, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. And thanks again for Zach. I'm Johnathan. We'll see you then.